Hey folks, Gary here, doing the daily Bible reading for Tuesday morning. And we're looking at Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 1 to 3. So let's see what it has to say. These are the commands, decrees, and regulations that the Lord your God commanded me to teach you. So Moses is saying, God gave me these things to teach you. Now, why did God do that? Well, God said, Moses, you got to teach the children these decrees, these commands, right? The regulations, all that stuff. You got to teach that to them so that they can live a really, really good life, right? I think we understand that, right? It's not that God's trying to be a dictator. It's simply that, well, if you have children, you teach them how to live a good life, right? If you don't teach them how to live a good life, then they're not going to be able to live it, right? They're not going to know to brush their teeth. They're not going to know to have a shower or whatever it might be. They're not going to know to study their schoolwork so they can have a good job later on, right? We know the instruction is important in order to live a really good life, because if you don't have that instruction, you're going to fumble your way through. And God's saying, I don't want them to do that. I want them to know, right? You must obey them in the land that you're about to enter and occupy. And you and your children and your grandchildren must fear the Lord your God as long as you live. Again, now, is God being a bully saying, I want them to be scared of me? No, God doesn't want you to be scared of him. God wants you to come to him as his father. Like he's the father and you come to him as children. He wants that to happen. This fear is not a fear of trembling and fear of him. It's being awestruck with how incredible he is. Think of the most incredible thing you've ever seen. What's being awestruck of him. So that's what that fear is. So get to know him well enough that you go, wow, he's amazing. If you obey all his decrees and commands, you will enjoy a long life. Listen closely, Israel, and be careful to obey. Then all will go well with you, and you will have many children in a land flowing with milk and honey, just as the Lord, the God of your ancestors, promised you. God wants you to live a really, really good life. How do you do that? Study his word. Study the Bible. Put it into your heart. Really, really get into it. Get to know your God. You do that, you're going to have a really enjoyable life. God's going to lead you to great places and have you do great things. It might not be the same way as the world would define that, but it's going to be really, really good. It's actually going to be better than what the world offers. And you can have a really good life with God. But study his word, get the instruction manual, do it the right way, and you'll find great success in your relationship with God.